Chúng tôi xin kính mời quý vị theo dõi thông điệp của Ngài Thanh Hải Vô Thượng Sư tựa đề Lòng biết ơn của vua hòa bình và vua chiến thắng, phần 1 của 11 phần trong tiết mục Giữa Thầy và Trò, được giảng bằng tiếng Anh vào ngày 11 tháng 9 năm 2025.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
Love God. Thanks God. Respect God. Worship God. Thank you. And love all the saints and sages, Buddhas in all 10 directions, for all the blessing, help, forgiveness, and enlightenment, as well as all the things that we are given all the time. Even if it is a test, a trial, because it's good for us if we've been tested, so we know how much we have grown and how much endurance and how much strength we have. Hi there, loving people, dedicated souls, saintly beings, and all the vegans in this world. Thanks for your love, for your remembrance of God and heavens and all the saints and the sages and Buddhas, so that you will continue to improve and will be happy with your own self success in spiritual practice. May you have good visions of the inner splendor of the true world, of the true home, true love, true blessing, until the day God wants you home. Amen. I just have a short report. Well, actually, I don't know how short, how long I will be speaking, because whatever I tell you is spontaneous. There's no plan, no pre-arrangements or anything like that. Your lives are too busy anyway, so if I can make it short, I will. But whatever it is, God decides. First of all, I'm glad that God allowed me to speak to you again, because we have been too busy, the Trinity, which I'm a part of, has been very, very busy. If you imagine, sometimes you see movies and you see the main character, like maybe a kung fu excellence or something, or some person like that, who has more than just one opponent, enemy, who are fighting with the main kung fu character, and in all directions. So this person in the middle, who is a kung fu master or kung fu hero, would be very busy. The hands, feet, eyes, and the whole body must be alert, must be always on the lookout for attack from the enemies from all sides. It's not like he can all at once, defeat them all, because it will come one group at a time or a couple of fighters at a time. But I'm so glad to have some good news for you, like the one on the daily news stream. Good news for the United Kingdom. But there's more bad news than good news. I wish I could tell all the countries in the world such good news like what we have seen on the daily news for the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom has been granted 1 year with minimum karma or almost zero karma. Well, it also depends on the people. It's said to me that zero karma year, but if the people maybe listen to me saying that and then continue to do things that are not according to heaven's direction or instruction, then the karma year could be not so complete. Yes, so I hope the United Kingdom people do not take things for granted and just feeling proud, happy, and confident that the year will have no consequences for them. It's not like that, okay? Right. And also sometimes if they allow immigrants to come into their country, whether legally or illegally, they will bring also different karma into the country. We wish the United Kingdom all the best, of course, under God's grace. And we also wish that maybe other countries will follow suit and do some good deeds. So maybe, maybe I have a chance to go through their country or live in their country and may add on some of my energy to help push their good luck. But, I go where God wants me to go, so I never know which country I'll go to next. Another thing is, if that country is not kind in different means to the Trinity of which I am a part of, then that country and related could be in unexpected big calamity. If they treat the true master badly, it's the same, bad consequence. That country could be in big calamity. I know. This statement could get me into more trouble and or reversed psychological result. But the truth must always be told. So at least you won't blame me for not going to or staying in your land. Especially so many have invited me eagerly, lovingly. I thank you all so much. If God ever allows, I will be happy to visit. It's a joy then to go from one country to the next also, to see all of God's domains. Besides, that country has to be safe for me to go there, to be there. It doesn't have to be a war breaking out in that country, unjust government or anything, because sometimes it needs only one person to cause a fatal event for anyone. Yes. So many masters have come and gone, and most of them have been harmed, not by the whole country's population, but just a small group or just some ignorant local governments or some, local people who hate them or are jealous of them for any reason. The thing is, any master comes to the world, bringing with them great power, blessing, and mercy and grace. But their aura is too strong for some people. Their power is too strong for some of the residents of this planet. Their teaching is too truthful for many humans. They're used to easy, lazy, and even some sinful ways, not conveniently conscientious-wise or as comfortable as the unvirtuous way of the mundane world. So they just feel something's not usual, and they would try to destroy that unusual energy which the master carries with him or with her. These are very sad things. But as you know very well, the people in the world, they are not all truly humans. Sometimes they're only half humans. Sometimes they have 2/3 human quality. And I have made a list for you already to tell you how much human quality a person has to have in order to be a human physically, not to talk about if they are truly good humans or not yet. It was a long time ago that I talked about that. I can't remember when, so maybe if you want to know, if you haven't heard it, you check it out. I think it had aired on Supreme Master Television. Can't remember when.
When we practice meditation, will be fully human? Because there was one question was asked by an American woman that I remember you said, how you become fully divine. As you said, to be fully divine, you have to be fully human. I wonder what kinds of ingredients to be fully human.
You want to get the ingredients and mix them together, bake a human being out of it? It's not easy to explain, you understand? But maybe I could say that a fully human being is just the one who has human qualities, humanitarianism, compassion, love, sacrifice, tolerance, lives for others more than for yourself. You only give yourself what is the minimum necessity to live on. Otherwise, you think of others before yourselves. And that's the human quality.
Human quality. Human quality is the human cells that you earn. The more noble you are, the more human cells you have. HQ is given by heaven. According to the merit before you were born. You understand?
Yes.
Okay? It's just like karma, more or less. HQ is the human quality that everybody must have in order to be human. So the least to have a human body, you have to have 16% HQ. You know, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But that power to be a human is already inherent before you were born. That's why you can be a human. Remember I told you how many points in order to be a human? Yes. Therefore humans are also different. Some humans have more human quality, they become more noble and beautiful, inside out. And some are ugly. Some are less noble. Some are not kind. Some are savage. Some are stupid. Some are more intelligent. That is because of the power, a human power, more or less. Thus, human quality is different. Human intelligence is also different. It depends on what merit you earn in the past life in order to have a human's quality as you have in this life. Okay, huh? Yes. Anyway, many humans look like humans, but they are not humans. And we talked about that already. So you just have to be careful. And there are superhumans and supreme humans and ultimate human, like the ultimate master. So their auras are all different. It depends on their rank and their level of spiritual enlightenment and all the spiritual positions in the whole universe. The heavens know, it's just humans. The majority would not know, they would not see the aura. But some can see. And it's very difficult to avoid being recognized by these seer people. When I was in Monaco sometime before we had the SMC meditation center in Menton, Saint Martin, I stayed in a hotel for a while in the cheapest possible room. Even in such hotel, they also have like rooms for rent. And it's cheaper than if you rent it and stay only for a couple of days. And I was there and I came in and out. And they were very kind to me, all of them, all of the staff in that hotel called the Fairmont Hotel. They were exceptionally hospitable and very, very nice, very kind, very, very respectful and very professional. I remember one of them, somehow he recognized me and he told the hotel manager that because one time they didn't have room, so they wanted to move me to another hotel. But this person who works there, I don't know how he knew about me. He told them that I am a very exceptional person, so they must keep me there. But hotels are hotels. They give you room if they have room. At that time, I did not rent the studio because I wasn't prepared to stay there long, just temporarily for a few days. And then if I overstayed those few days and other customers had already booked that room, then I had to move. So that person told the management that they had to keep me there, but they could not. So they kind of introduced me to another hotel just as good, but it's not the same, of course. Never mind. When I'm in Monaco, I prefer the Fairmont Hotel because they all know me there and they're very, very kind. One of the persons who work there as okay, I will tell you the good news in a minute when we finish talking about this. One thing always leads to another thing, then I could talk for a long time about one subject or one event. So I hope I will remember to tell you what I should tell you, what God wants you to know. So we know. One person, he worked as the front door bellboy. He's a senior one. Yeah, he's older. And he always saw my aura. My aura has many colors, but he could only see one color. This is a bright white color. So I didn't say anything. I didn't say, oh, that's all you saw. I didn't say that. I didn't want to upset him or make him feel disappointed. Because one time I walked out and he said to me, oh, today I can see your aura more clearly. I said, what color of aura did you see? So he told me. He didn't want to tell me at first. He said, oh, please, don't make me tell you. I said, you have to. Now you already told me. You make me curious, so tell me the rest. He did not. So he knelt down on the floor in front of the door. Not right in the middle of the door, but on the side, because I have a little desk at the front door, because I have to work like valets, I think. He takes care of the cars of the clients when they come. He and all his colleagues there have to drive the cars into the garage of the hotel. So that's his job. But he can see people's auras. So I asked him, so he knelt on the floor to beg me not to ask him to review that. I say, you already reviewed half of it, so you have to tell me. And after he told me that, I said, very good, very good. Good that you see it. He's so kind, he's so humble. By the way, I'm telling you, my God's disciples, to please be respectful to people, because you never know who is who. One time I stayed in one of the centers for a while only, and there was one garbage collector. Whenever he passed by that place where I stayed, that day was special. If you were there, you would feel that the energy is more uplifted and your mood is being boosted, making you more happy, even if you have a lot of work to do, like usual. Yeah, everything seems better and your body would feel lighter, as if you could walk through the walls or you could fly into space, something like that. Not every one of these garbage collectors brought such a good energy, but he, one person, did. Well, I didn't have to see him. Actually, I didn't know when he came. But when he came, I felt a different energy. Oh, really very high energy. So he must be a kind of a very, very diligent practitioner. He is not my God disciple. He studied with some other teachers. But he did practice very well. He's truly very pure. All right. What else do I want to tell you? Just one moment. Well, recently, our world seems to be a little bit more stable. Apart from some corners of the planet having problems that are not solved yet, like in Ukraine, also known as Ukraine. Well, I wanted to change the name a little bit to have hope that this world carries better energy for them and that they will have peace sooner. Well, I have to thank all of you who are sincerely, diligently, and humbly praying for world peace. We have many signs of world peace everywhere. As you can see, every day our team members collect all the news, or maybe I collect some news and then they make the peace news every day, yeah? So we truly have peace coming in different countries, in different corners of the planet. It's just some are still very stubborn. Oh, by the way, the good news is Well, not just about England, but the good news is that yesterday, while I was meditating, the two kings came and thanked me for the peace in Syria and some other nations. One was the king of peace, representing his people, who came and thanked me for the peace in Syria and other war ends. And today, the other 7 kings came also to thank me for their words, which are now also free from the side effects of the war. Either they were involved, related, or being neighbors of the warring conflict. These are the king of happy world, the king of zero fear world, the king of safety world, the king of loving world, the king of forgiving world, the king of flawless world, the king of progressive world. Another one, the king of victory, also came. They came together at the same time. So the king of peace spoke first. He said that he and his people thank me so much for the peace lately in Syria and all others. The king of victory also thanked me similarly, yes. They were very respectful and very, very happy to have such a result. Well, that made me happy also, even though my physical body shows some signs of karma, of bullets and sharp nails. Yeah, I mean, those human killer things that people use in war, yeah? Both of them are happy that Syria has become a peaceful country, and truly they are getting better so fast. Peace within the country and also without their country. They even export oil. Imagine that? Yes. After all these years of war and suffering, now they have become truly self-governed and can even export their products outside of their country. It's really a good thing. It helps their people to get back on their feet, plus also eases some fuel shortage nowadays. Thanks God. I'm so glad for them. You don't worry, I can bear it. Just telling you, by the way, that even though my body has taken some karma of the war and all else, it's really such a beautiful feeling to see them coming and thanking me. But I told them, well, you should thank the Trinity, the Most High, the most powerful. But at that time, the Trinity was not united yet, just recently, yeah. And the war in Syria had already been worked on, yeah, before the Trinity has come to be reunited. So this was not yet announced to the whole universe. So anyway, I said to the 2 kings, from now on, you and your people have to thank the Trinity, okay? And also in my heart, I thank all of you, of course, the noble souls who pray for peace and for vegan world. I will never forget you. Even if I don't know you physically, I will not forget you in the soul area, and I will help you. I will liberate you. If you don't do any sinful things in this life, that will be very easy for me to do, since you are vegan and sincere. And if you know me, if you request me to liberate you, I will. And there are some people who are not vegans yet, or not even vegetarians, but if they have a lot of good merit in former life or lives, they would also go to heaven in this lifetime. But I would advise these people, please turn to be vegan, because any saints and sages you pray to would prefer that of you, prefer that you are vegan. It's easier for them to rescue you. So even if you are not vegan, but you feel well and you don't feel there are any bad incidents in your life, please don't be too proud and don't be too overconfident that God would save you. God might save you. Lord Jesus might help you. The Buddhas might lift you up. But you never know if you have enough merit to balance out all the bad and good deeds of some former life or this lifetime. And you should also have more and more merit because then you can help your family with your blessing. I don't blame any of you. I'm talking mostly to my own so-called God's disciples. But many times in my talks, I also mention things that benefit you. And I'm trying to tell you the truth, and maybe some of you would listen and benefit from it. I'm not telling you anything so that you become my disciples or followers or, make me offerings, riches or anything. No. I don't take any offerings. I give, I don't take. My life is too simple. I don't really need much. And even if I don't have any money, I could go out and sell tofu or something. That would be enough money to take care of myself, one person. It's very easy to earn money. Because I'm kind of old now, I don't think anybody would hire me, even if I wanted to go to work. But nevertheless, I could make my own business, a small one, in order to live on, to survive, yeah? So no problem, don't worry about me. At the moment, my cost would be about a couple of $100 per month, just for food and some little necessities. Otherwise, it's not much. My life is quite cheap. I always tell my God's disciples that I'm a very low maintenance woman. Even if I sometimes, like before, often appear in public. I did all my own makeup, design my own clothes, design my own jewelry to wear, and most often even cook my own food, simple food. So, if it's such a lifestyle, you don't have much ambition to be anything more than whatever God designed for you to do. If it's very big karma, like the war in Syria all these years, if anyone wants to shoulder their karma, there is a consequence. It's not all that easy. That's why it took so long. But the gratitude of these two kings really boosts me up, lifts up my spirit, my mental wellness, even though my body suffers. But I'm glad that it was only that much, because all these bullets and sharpness, I have to take care of the karma. It's not physical, but if it's too much for the astral, it would even appear on the physical body. Usually, the left side takes and absorbs the word karma, mostly through the left eye. But in recent years, it also affects the right eye. And in more recent years, the right eye gets affected, as its job is to protect the rest of the body from karma, neutralize it, then gives out blessing. So when it's too overwhelmed, it's forced to close so often. I still can work okay, but if it takes more karma, then maybe the right eye would not be able to open like before. Well, it might be then good for my safety. No one will recognize me anymore, including you, the God's disciples. Ha. Now just don't go around checking people's eyes, okay? You might get an unpleasant surprise. The bulges don't appear like bleeding or anything, but they just appear like, for example, you can imagine like the bullet goes through the body and bulges out, cover its head with the skin surface from the inside, but there's no bleeding. Normally, it shouldn't show like that because the astral body could take care of it till it heals already, but sometimes it's too much then some signs can appear on the physical body, but I'm well. The pain is still bearable compared to some others. I just tell you things. Sometimes God allows you to learn what I do as a job, non-paying job. But if God doesn't allow it, then I won't tell you. A lot I didn't and won't tell you. Well, maybe you can learn a little about how a master takes on different karma from the world. Not all is kept a secret, eh? Anyway, I'm so glad that this was all there is. If you see my body, then you see the skin bulges out like the head of the bullet, kind of signs. But it's okay. I just wait, and with time, maybe it will disappear. If it doesn't, then it doesn't matter. As long as I can work and be safe, physically in peace, to meditate, to erase whatever I can of the suffering in the world, then it doesn't bother me what I look like. You cannot see them. Don't dream. Ha ha ha. You know, I always will wear clothes, so it doesn't matter. It's getting a little bit better already. The appearance becomes less sharp, less bulky. Yeah. I just want to report to you something, that's all. Just because the two kings came and they were so very grateful for what I, as Dharma Wheel Turning King, have done or will do for Syria and other places. The big could have possibly been longer lasting battle because they have been fighting against the negative force for Syria, mostly in those countries, peace all this time, and have earned some quite impressive success by God's grace. They are so glad to have a big break. And so remember, last time they had been defeated for a while, yeah? So we had to come. The Heaven Army came in and helped them out, and so they have won. And now they win some more. The Syrian war has ended, and everybody signs in relief. I'm so happy for the citizens of Syria. We do wish them the best. And because of that, I, by the way, tell you about the effect of karma on my body. This is not the only one, okay? It's not the only one, karma stuff. There are others. But they affect the body in different ways. Some don't have side effects on the body at all, but it's there. Any world karma wound, if lucky being just a wound, still must take time to heal. The karma is still there and causes some discomfort or some temporary illness, but it doesn't always come out onto the body so that you can see it. It's only I know, but it doesn't matter. I'm used to it. Like any world karma wound. So don't worry, I'm healthy, okay? I mean, as healthy as it gets. Not because I haven't talked to you for a long time, then you think I'm sick or anything. Well, I have, of course, some trouble, but I don't want you to worry, okay? So I will explain this to you. Yeah? I might have some sign of trouble, but it's not so bad. It's not too bad. It's not like the bullets come on one go, but it has some effect, one part of it at a time. So God doesn't let me suffer too much at one time. And God is very merciful, always protects me, and also tells me how to ease some of the discomfort. Yeah, when I am allowed to know, okay? Now you see, heaven's people, they are very, very polite like that, very grateful like that. So all real humans should also be grateful. That's why I told you before, not reprimanding you or anything, it's just that it's very bad if we are not grateful to people who are good to us, like I told you, the psychics, the people who foresee the future by seeing the past records. It's all recorded in Akashic Hall. So, because many psychics have been warning humanity for some coming disasters, we have minimized a lot of them. Otherwise, I I doubt if the earth would still exist until today. There is still a lot to do. Please, all humans, pray strong, repent sincerely, and be a good person. So even if the event did not happen the way they predicted, or it happened less, the damage is less, or humans must always be thankful that God let them tell them in advance so that we can minimize it wherever we can, some part of it. If humans even believe in the grace of God or the mercy of the Buddha and pray sincerely, honestly, humbly, repent, be good, then disaster, no matter how great, will become zero or at least minimized.
Dear Supreme Master TV Saints, I wanted to share that I have been keeping an eye on spaceweatherlive.com, and I noticed that around the time that we became anxious about the July 5th tsunami that was predicted by Ryo Tatsuki and numerous others, which was addressed by our beloved Ultimate Master when she said that we could even avoid the tsunami in Japan in the message, "The simple little screw that can save our home planet." The solar flare energy was surprisingly low, mostly B class, when the time of the event passed, and thus we started to feel that it was not going to happen. The graph rose into C class and has stayed there. Master has once mentioned that people became more God-fearing and their souls became better around the time of a forecast typhoon, but then afterwards they went back to their original state. Master has warned how to stay safe and to pray for the people of Japan in early July. I wonder if many people who were afraid because of this prophecy prayed sincerely, and this improved the atmosphere of the planet a little, thus meaning that the three most powerful could save us from that terrible disaster. But now that the predicted disaster seems less likely, the prayers have stopped, and I presume that is what has caused the solar flaring to increase again. In Master's conversation with the King of the Sun, she said that the king told her that the prayers do reduce the karma of the planet, and thus the amount of damage that must be done to Earth. It seems then that the amount of solar flaring is directly proportional to the God-fearing goodness in the hearts of humans. Of course, we would have been burned up by now if it wasn't for the green shield that Master and the peace people placed around our planet, and it's odd to see on the space weather graphs that things were very quiet on the sun around the time that we were expecting a very big disaster and thus praying very hard. May we all pray plentifully, as it would appear that the three most powerful can make good use of it to save us from the most terrible disasters. Margot in the United Kingdom,
etc.
I can see all that, I know all that, but I cannot prove it to you. That is a problem. Well, at least you, the God's disciple who follow me, should believe what I said. What reason do I have to tell the untruth, only to make people ridicule me or look down upon me in their hearts? They might think, oh, nothing happens, she just talks. She just say anything to scare us or stuff like that. But I don't mind as long as humans can be saved, can have less suffering, and the world, the planet is still there for them to continue their lives, so that they might still have a chance. If they live longer, they might have a chance to meet the master of their liking. Doesn't have to be me. To get enlightenment, wisdom, and know the all truth, then maybe they won't laugh at us anymore. Meanwhile, we do all our best to help them in whatever way possible. We help with what we can. And also, you, the God's disciples, please, you know what things I tell for you and what things I tell for the world people who are non-disciples and even non-vegan. So you don't have to apply everything that I told to do in this kind of talk, because you don't have to. Apart from what you learned from initiation, inside works and results, just use what's good for you in any of the FNs and my lectures, especially the new initiates. Learn more from all to know. And remember why you must meditate with the Kuan Yin method, how to avoid traps, to protect yourself and loved ones, etc. You have the spiritual capital. Now go on to invest more for a brighter future. Love you so much. For example, I tell people to recite the Amitabha Buddha's names because that's easier for them in their busy life to recite the holy names of Amitabha Buddha. But of course, they can recite any other Buddha's names, and if they have time, they can recite as many Buddha's names as they wish to. And I also told people, the Christians, to call on God Jesus, to recite Jesus' name and to remember God. But you already have things that I taught you, so you don't have to do that. I tell this to people because they are not my so-called disciples, and I can't tell them the things that I told you. So you don't always have to do what I tell on Supreme Master Television. You know it already. You just do what you've been taught at the time of initiation. Of course, you can recite Buddha's name, pray to God, Jesus also, if you wish. And some people are concerned about whether or not you should have an altar for the parents or relatives who have passed away. You can if you want to, but you should always remember their kindness and respect in your heart. But if you keep them after they die, you make an altar and put their photographs on there, then they might get attached to that place and stay in your home. Then you might feel the energy of a lower world, the wandering ghost world. It could also interfere with your spiritual elevation. So it's up to you to choose, yeah? Anyway, if you put their photo in the house, then they know it's for them. And then maybe they will not want to go anywhere except seeing you every day. So you should keep photographs of your parents if you want to remember their kindness, their greatness, their unconditional love for you. But do not make it like a fixed place and they just have to sit there next to the table where you make an altar. This is very cold for them. And sometimes they have some afterlife power, and if they don't go up to heavens, they hang around, then their power could be sometimes moody, just like you are, or when they were alive, then they might scare your children, because children can see them sometimes. Young children, babies also can see it, and it might also scare them, especially if they were born without the grandparents or without other relatives, because they already died before these children were born. They might not recognize it. They might not feel familiar or safe seeing ghosts around. And you be also kind of binding them on earth or in your house instead of praying for them to be liberated and to go to a better place, such as heavens. Even lower heavens are still much better for them than being on this planet, kind of lost and confused and not really having a real place to rest. It's not a very good life for them. So you pray, disciple or non-disciple, pray for your relatives or friends or parents or grandparents, anyone you love, you pray for them. That's the best. It's the best for them, okay? And if you see them appear in your house sometimes, you should also use love and clear explanation. Tell them that they have already gone away from this physical world, and it's not good for them to continue to hang around as a ghost, because they cannot talk to anybody. Sometimes they can make noise in the house because of bad mood or frustration, because they cannot talk to you or your children or to the, left behind husband or wife. or mother or children, that's very frustrating for them. They can stand next to you, but you don't see them. They can talk to you all day, but you don't hear anything. Yeah. Some can, but rarely. That's very bad for them. They feel sad, lonely, and frustrated, and feel as if you don't care about them. So it's best to pray in your own religion, or to anything you believe in, or pray to God. Pray to God, Jesus. Pray to the Buddhas, your favorite Buddhas, selected Buddha, or many Buddhas. It's up to you, depends on what you want to do. Pray for them to be liberated. That's the best. That's the best. You can visit their grave sometimes if you have their grave, or if you burn their ashes and just scatter them in the garden or in the forest, or bury them under the earth, but pray for them. Don't make them attached to you after they pass away from this world, because heavens are better for them. Many worlds are better than this world. Okay? All right. It's not forbidden to make an altar and bow to them every day, but it could even bind them to your house next to you all the time, and there's a lot of suffering for them. Because sometimes they see things happen to you that are not good for you, but they cannot do anything, and they will suffer very much more suffering feeling than if they still have the physical body. Because without this physical body, you see things in different degree. Everything you can see far away. You can see things that if you have the physical body, you cannot see. And if they see you suffer in any way, that will make them suffer tenfold more than if they have a physical body. They can see, they can feel, they can hear everything more intense. It's just that they cannot express all that to you, and they feel very frustrated. So it's just better pray for them. And if they hear it, then they understand. They also thank you if they become liberated or detached from this world and go to heaven. Whatever I remember, I just keep telling you, but I didn't intend to tell you all this. It just came out like an automatic talk. Just like some people have automatic writing, heaven inspires them and then they write. For me, I told you I'm without a prescript, not writing anything, not planning anything. God allowed me to tell you some of the events like that. And if more people praying and repenting and turn to merciful life, compassionate life of a vegan style, then the world will be more and more stable, in peace, happiness. But it's also frustrating to me because it's too slow for my temperament and my wish. And meanwhile, there's so much damage and suffering for those who don't listen. But I just have to bear it. Just have to bear it. Anyway, I'm glad that the bird people are still coming and preaching to their own kind, and also other animal people who live around me, for example. They also listen, yeah. They're teaching moral standards and God's faith and all kinds of things. Like spiritually, these bird people who preach, they're not normal bird people. It's like they're higher standard of bird people. Just like humans, not all people who look like humans are humans. Some of them are saints and sages, yeah? And some of them are demons or ghosts who possess the body of humans to do not good things. Some also borrow a body and do good things and be practitioners of different religious faiths to bless people. But without the Kuan Yin method, without the real high master, their soul cannot be liberated. Just for example, like the highest spiritual leader in the Tibetan Buddhism tradition is His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. But then he has to be reincarnated again and again. It's very tiring, okay? So sometimes even the highest Lama want to rest, but they cannot. They need a true master who came from the highest possible heavens, at least the fifth heavens, to teach them, to impart to them the energy, which we call the Kuan Yin method in our practicing group. Many of you always ask me, why don't we make a religion out of it? I don't know if there's any help. Sometimes I think about it, but I thought we have too many religions already. Why make another one? But you're right. Maybe it could help to ease off some of the hard bureaucracy, spying or slandering. But I don't really feel sure about that. Karma changes, government changes, things change all the time. Hard to keep up. Even Buddha, he did not establish Buddhism. It just came out after his nirvana. But at that time when the Buddha was alive, many people were also against him or oppose him or slander him or wrongly accuse him, all kind of things. Like they even accuse the Buddha of making a woman pregnant until the Buddha's Hufa check her out, peel her off, and then the Buddha came out instead. She wasn't pregnant at all. She was just hired, paid to go to the Buddha's place just to injure his reputation, to slander him in public, hoping that the disciples of the Buddha would run away from him, slander him and make bad things bigger and bigger. Wow, luckily, in the Buddha's time, we didn't have internet. Yeah, we didn't have television. But they did have two-legged newspapers. And network formed by group gossip, I guess. In some areas they have them, but not as big and widespread like nowadays newspapers. So the Buddha suffered some, but not as much as if he were born or lived in this lifetime. And by the way, talking about the Buddha, I told you that nowadays so many so-called Buddhas are running around. But if you hear anybody proclaim himself or let his disciples or followers proclaim him to be the Buddha and make a Buddha-like statue of himself or talk big or anything and saying that he's a Buddha, then don't believe it, please. Now, one of the teachers in Qigong, he told the reporter that he eats anything. He eats animal, people, meat also, because the animal person should die at that day, that time, so it doesn't matter. Maybe so. Maybe that animal person's time is up and he died that day. But the way he's killed, murdered in quiet and dark corner of the world, nobody even pitied him at all. And he lived his life in suffering, in agony. And he died also in suffering, pain, and agony like that. If you eat that kind of meat, you will be reminded of how the animal person lived his life in pain, sorrow, suffering, darkness, and die also in pain, sorrow, agonizingly, in utmost suffering. Then I don't know how you swallow it. That is a question. It's not even about the animal people who died in suffering and pain and all like that. It's about you. Where is your compassion? How can you be so dull? I know I offended this teacher. It's very good that he teaches people to make a beautiful dance and then some movements to ease their anxiety. Anything you practice, if you concentrate on it, it would help you somehow to relax and be more clear-minded. I can't remember what they call themselves. Pháp Luân Công, Pháp Luân Đại Pháp. The teacher is teaching his followers the best he knows. And that's very laudable. It's just that if you eat animal people meat and you encourage others to eat meat and you also cover up that kind of murdered animal people and meat eating, I don't think it's correct to claim that you are a Buddha. Everything else he teaches may be correct, what he knows. But if you encourage people to go in such a killing road of murderous karma, then you will not end well with heaven and hell. There's so many teachings of the Buddhas that discourage meat eating and encourage people to be kind to animal people. The Buddha said that if you eat meat, you are not my disciple. In the Suragama Sutra and many other sutras, it also states so clearly about no meat eating. The Buddha mentioned again and again that all beings are our relatives. So are you eating your grandfather or your dead mother with a meat diet? If you eat animal people meat, you go to hell. Maximum, you will become a demon king.
Those practitioners who wish to enter the state of samadhi should first observe strictly the rules of pure living to cut lust from the mind by abstaining from meat and wine. Ananda, if they do not abstain from carnality and killing, they will never escape from the three low worlds of existence. Samadhi means Holy Communion. Surangama Sutra.
At that time, Arya Mahamati Bodhisattva Mahasattva said to the Buddha, "World-honored one, I see that in all worlds, the wandering in births and deaths, the enlaced animosities, and the falling into evil paths are all caused by meat-eating and cyclical killing. Those behaviors increase greed and anger and make living beings unable to escape from suffering." Lankavatara Sutra.
World-honored one, people who eat meat are destroying the great merciful seed of their own. Thus the people who practice the holy way should not eat meat. Lankavatara Sutra.
The Buddha told Mahamati, meat eating has countless offences. All bodhisattvas should cultivate their great mercy and compassion so that they should not eat meat. Bodhisattvas means spiritual practitioners. Lankavatara Sutra.
Those who renounce the flavor of meat can taste the flavors of the true dharmas, truthfully practice the stage of bodhisattva, and attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi quickly. Dharma means true teaching. Bodhisattva means spiritual practitioner. Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi means supreme perfect enlightenment. Lankavatara Sutra.
Living beings are in the transmigration of the 6 paths. Being together in births and deaths, they give birth to and foster each other and cyclically become fathers, mothers, brothers and sisters of each other. They may also be born in other paths, of animal, ghost, god and so on. Whether virtuous or evil, they frequently become the relatives of each other. Because of these relationships, I see that all meats eaten by living beings are of their own relatives. The 6 paths: God, human, asura, animal, hungry ghost, hell being. Lankavatara Sutra.
If any of my disciples still eats meat, know that he is of the Kandela's lineage. He is not my disciple, and I am not his teacher. Therefore, Mahamati, if anyone wishes to be my relative, he should not eat any meat. Kandela means killer or murderer. Lankavatara Sutra.
All meats are from the filthy bodies, which are combined by pus, blood, dirtiness, red bindus, white bindus of the parents. Thus, discerning the dirtiness of meat, bodhisattvas should not eat meat. Bodhisattvas means spiritual practitioners. Bindus means bright drops. Lankavatara Sutra.
All meats are like the dead bodies of human beings. The cooked meats are as stinky and feculent as the burned dead bodies. So how could we eat such things? Lankavatara Sutra.
Meat eating can increase desires. Meat eaters are greedy. For the instinct of protecting and cherishing life, there is no difference between human and animal. For every living being, he himself is afraid of death. How could he eat the meat of others? Anyone who wants to eat meat should first discern the pain of cutting his own body, and then discern the pains of all living beings, and then give up meat eating. Lankavatara Sutra.
There will be some ignorant persons saying Buddhist precepts allow meat eating. Due to their past meat-eating habit, they said those words simply according to their own views. But in fact, Buddhas and sages have never said that meats are foods. Lankavatara Sutra.
Meat eaters have so many countless offences. Thus, vegans have masses of countless merits and virtues. Lankavatara Sutra.
If no one eats meat, then no one kills living beings for food. The killings are for the buyers. Thus, the buying is the same as the killing. Therefore, meat eating can obstruct the holy way. Lankavatara Sutra.
At all times, all kinds of meats are inedible unexceptionally. Mahamati, I forbid meat eating not only for one time, I mean that both in the present and future, meat eating is forbidden. Lankavatara Sutra.
A disciple of the Buddha must not deliberately eat meat. He should not eat the flesh of any sentient being. The meat eater forfeits the seed of great compassion, severs the seed of the Buddha nature, and causes animals and transcendental beings to avoid him. Those who do so are guilty of countless offenses. Brahmajala Sutra, etc.
So how can anyone say he's a Buddha but not practice the basic of Buddha's teaching? Too obvious to discuss or blunderingly defend. So be wise, do not follow demons. Many religions say that if you save one animal person, it's a living being, it's more than reciting a lot of teachings and or building many temples. Yeah. But of course, not just a building and the reciting, it's your heart that has to be in it. You have to be truly sincere while reciting. Concentrate while building and have a repentant heart. Be humbly repentant and believe that you are doing good things. For the sake of respecting the sages, the Buddhas, for the sake of remembering God, that you build temples, build the churches. It's not just for other people to know and put your name on the memorial tablet in the temple or in the church so that people know you are something, that you're rich, that you're generous and make big offerings to God or to the saints and to the Buddhas. It's not the outside that counts. It's the inside. It's in your heart, in your mind, whether or not you're sincere.